Now, the Bram Weinstein Show on Washington's new home for sports, ESPN 630.
Hey, baby. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. What's up?
Losing your mind over there?
Mm-hmm. Yep. This week's throwing me for a loop.
Got it. Okay.
Feel like we should win. Don't like saying it. Because last time I said that with a lot of force was against Chicago on a Thursday night. We were run off our own field by a team that had won in a calendar year.
I played the mind games with you. It's Fade Bram Friday, and now you're fading yourself.
I'm fading myself because I'm
within the same day.
Gonna paint a picture where I think they ought to win, like with certainty.
The old auto win
right.
games.
Well, it never is with these guys for sure. You know,
right.
And the Giants are pretending Daniel Jones is going to play on Sunday, or at least putting it out as questionable. He has a neck injury. As of yesterday, he wasn't cleared for contact. I have a hard time buying that they're going to put him out there on Sunday, and it will be Tyrod Taylor. And at this juncture, all right, here we go. I shouldn't say this.
Oh, man.
I think they have a better shot with Tyrod Taylor playing on Sunday than they do with Daniel Jones, personally.
Okay.
That's what I think, mainly because of the state of their offensive line. The state of their offensive line is such in disarray. We're going to talk to Jordan Raanan of ESPN, who's the Giants insider, in about 20 minutes. And I think he will agree with me. Like, you think we had problems on our offensive line the last couple of years? You don't know the half of it with these guys. Like, they're missing just about everybody. Mm-hmm. They're probably starting 2 guys off the street this week.
Okay.
That's brutal. And so I would just say, considering what the strength of our team supposedly is, I actually think they got a better shot with Tyrod Taylor playing this Sunday because he's more apt to escape and more apt to do the unscheduled stuff and get out of a pocket. And I don't know if he'll be able to do it consistently, but just do enough of it. Jones, where he kills you is on literal designed runs. He's not actually like an escape artist. That's not really what he does. Like he can move, obviously. It's where he's dangerous and has killed us is on designed runs.
Right.
He's very good at fakes and keeping the ball and doing those end arounds. He beats us on the edge because we get beat on the edge.
Sure.
And he's fast. But he doesn't, there's not a lot of like examples of him scrambling and then making plays with his legs. Taylor's a little different, and he actually can do that. And considering the state of their offensive line, I actually think they got a better shot right now to go with him. I don't know that it's considerably better with plays down the field, which they basically have none of,
right.
But like, I do feel like that's their better shot because Jones has been a sitting duck behind this line. I actually just don't think it's a good idea for them to play him. So I'm expecting Taylor to play, but they're going to play some games and I don't blame them. And they're letting us guess for a couple more days who's going to be the quarterback.
Of course. On the whole offensive line thing, they're missing guys. Like, this is just something that has gone back so long with this team, though, that every time you get these, oh my God, that unit's banged up, they seem to hold their own against this franchise. I don't know why, but it just happens literally all the time. Like, there have been games where teams are missing their whole entire defensive backfield and are fine. Like, I would assume this defensive line should be able to eat well on Sunday.
Yes, it should.
I just know. I've seen this movie so many times before where teams hold their own against this team, and I don't know why.
So in the last, okay, let me just explain the state of this, though, because this one's new. Mm-hmm. Andrew Thomas, who's their best offensive lineman, has been out for weeks with a hamstring injury and is listed as out here. So he's not coming back.
Right.
His main backup is Matt Pert, who is also out, and I need to figure out why because I don't even know. They used not a first round pick. They used a second or third round pick. I think it was a second round pick on John Michael Schmitz, the center.
Got it.
Nick Gates was gone. He's out. It has been out for a couple of weeks. Evan Neal, the other top 10 tackle, is questionable. The backup to both Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal is Joshua Izendu, and he's out. Got hurt last week. They brought in Justin Pugh, who famously is a longtime first-round pick of theirs 10 years ago, but has been out of the league this year and did the famous straight-off-the-couch line the other day to start at left guard because they've had an injury there. But then when the backup to Andrew Thomas got hurt, had to move to left tackle.
Right, which he only played 6 snaps in his entire career.
And gave up 2 sacks.
Yeah, right.
I don't know where he's starting yet. Like, this is as bad as I've ever heard. And then this week, one of the other starters, Shane Lemieux, who can go between either guard position, went on IR with a torn biceps.
Mm-hmm.
They have not an NFL offensive line this week.
And I will
so,
counterpoint it. Hold on. I will counterpoint it with, remember when the then Redskins went to Seattle in like 2015, something like that, maybe 2014?
Mm-hmm.
I was producing the radio broadcast at that time. Doc was the sideline reporter. Doc said, some guy just walked by that I've never seen before, and he's starting today.
Yep.
The Redskins won. So I'm just saying,
listen,
I've seen this movie before.
Again,
they've been the team before.
For the rest of the year, I count no chickens. Because of that Bears game, I will not believe
you and
that
I are
anything,
both on any given Sunday status right now.
Totally. I mean, after what they did in that Bears game, I will not believe them no matter what. But when I do watch it and watch them, I go, that should ruin them.
Should.
Against this team, really should ruin them. The strength of our team is our front four. I want all of them to have a sack because they all should this week. Like, there should be a lot of drives blown up by our front four because I don't know how in the world that unit is expected to block them.
Right.
Which is why I'll go back to, I think they'd be better off playing Tyrod Taylor because he is more apt to escape from trouble. And whoever the quarterback is going to be in a lot of trouble against us.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of trouble. So I think, like, if we want to fix that Daniel Jones always beats us problem, go ahead, Dayball, put him back there because he's not a scramble and escape type of quarterback. He's very good on designed runs. Very good. He's not good on the off script, figure it out, get out, use your legs. Like, there are examples of it because he's athletic and fast, but he's not really particularly good at it. I would even argue Sam Howell's better at it than he is.
Yeah.
Some guys have a feel for that. On this zone read stuff, he's amazing. And he'll catch you every once. He's caught us through the years a number of times. So I expect Tyrod Taylor to play. As for the rest of it, like, if he gets any time, and that's why, to me, I'm putting all the pressure on our defensive line. One, they're supposed to lead this team. Two, this matchup favors them immensely. They have an extraordinary weakness, the Giants, an extraordinary weakness. If you can't take advantage of this, you can't take advantage of anything.
Right.
Welcome to professional sports. Oh, these guys are going to show up and strap them on. Yeah, these guys are off the street. One of the guys who might play this week was signed off Dallas's practice squad 2 days ago. The other guy was sitting on his couch and told you that. If you can't beat that, if you can't knock that off, if you can't win that most of the time, you're doing something wrong. You are. So they need to control the game. I mean, that, to me, that is the game. They need to control this game. If they do and blow up enough drives of the Giants, I'd like to think that without turning the ball over 5 times, we're going to win. I don't know by what score or how, but I think we're going to win. Sure. That's how I feel about it.
I think it does rest on, does EB lean on Brian Robinson? I think
Maybe.
It's going to be a big part of things. I just think this team has...
I would want to control the clock here.
Yes.
And, and go, good luck with your offense trying to score on us.
Right.
And if you can get a lead here, too, you definitively want to run the ball. And that's another thing, too. Like, so I said this to Kime, and he laughed at me. He'll be on at 4 o'clock. And I said, I rewatched the Miami Giants game. And he just laughed at me, and he goes, that doesn't apply here. We're not the Miami offense. And I said, hold on a second. I go watch what EB's been doing with a lot of the movement and the kind of off-schedule plays and the end-arounds to Curtis Samuel and all this type of stuff. I get it. That's not Tyreek Hill. And that's not the speed of those running backs that they have. But the holes are gaping. This is a team that is wildly over-aggressive, especially Thibodeau, like wildly over-aggressive. And you could catch them. And there are these big gaping holes. So I actually think that this one should be a fun one for Bieniemy to scheme up. But I agree, using the run game.
Right.
Using the run game. There is nothing necessary about throwing the ball a lot in this game. Mainly because Wink Martindale blitzes more than anybody in the league. Mm-hmm. They still do that. And the only chance that I see that the Giants have to win is they've got to wreck a bunch of drives and potentially get turnovers. And they've actually gotten a lot of them the last few weeks. I know the scores don't show this. Like they got run off the field by Miami, but it was turnovers that really kept them in the Buffalo game. It was turnovers early that kept them in that Miami game. It's really flipped for them. So their defense, all that aggressiveness has paid off into turnovers. So I also want to avoid that. This is not the week that Sam Howell should be throwing the ball 47 times.
Correct.
It should not happen.
Exactly.
It should not have to happen. So EB, let's just say the Giants catch a break and go up 7-0. Brian Robinson needs to not go 2 quarters without carrying the ball.
Well, also, it's like, use what worked last week. I've been screaming about it for the first month of the season. Those rollouts, moving Sam Howell around on purpose.
Yes.
Finding guys right there.
You got to do it.
You have to.
You have to do it against this team. They will dial it up. They are fully aware of the protection issues that this team has, and they are fully aware that Howell holds on to the ball sometimes too long. As for the unlocking of Dotson this week, I asked a question about that, and I got the answer that I actually appreciate and kind of said on Monday after the game where I'm like, listen, I agree that we need to use him more because it's just crazy not to. He might be the most explosive receiver that we have. No offense to Terry, but he might be. And the fact that he gets targeted once or just doesn't see the ball, that just makes no sense, right? Like eventually he's just got to get the ball. But I did talk to some people about it, and I said, and I framed it as the big story this week, obviously, is getting everybody involved and specifically Dotson. And what do you all think about that? And the answer I got was where I kind of landed on it, which was, remember last week at the end of the game, I said, for the first time, I thought Hal forced it a little bit to McLaurin. First time I've seen him do that. Like what I really like about him is I largely trust his decision-making to make the right play and the right throw. He hangs on to it too long sometimes. It takes a couple sacks that are unnecessary. But outside of that, he doesn't really put the ball in harm's way as much as you might think he would.
Right.
And so I'm like, I want to trust him here. I don't want him to be overthinking and force things because Jahan has to touch the ball. You know, like something like that. I don't want that to happen. And the answers I got were, we're not really trying to do that. Like, of course we want him to get the ball. Of course we want Terry to get the ball. We want everybody to get the ball, but that's not our goal here, is to figure out how to force something to somebody. And I actually appreciated that as an honest answer because I know what everybody wants to hear. Why isn't Dotson getting the ball? And I would agree. Why isn't he getting the ball? This is incumbent on the coaches to make it so that it is more likely he will get the ball, but it doesn't mean forcing it to him. So we'll see this week with that one too. But our receivers are going to have a lot of one-on-one man coverage because this team blitzes like crazy. So I agree with you. Rolling Hal out, using motion. If you watch that, again, Kyle laughed at me because I was like, if you watch that Miami game, they do a lot of motion and stuff like that. The holes that they got on their run plays and some of these end-around stuff, and I know it's Tyreek Hill, so it looks really bad. When he gets space, he's gone.
Fast motion, fast forward.
So I know he's the turbo button. I mean, it's just when he kicks it in, we don't have a guy like that. Like it looks even crazier.
Right.
But the holes are massive. They are over aggressive. They overrun plays. And if they catch you, they're going to blow your drive up, and they might get a turnover. But if they don't, you could kill them. And I mean, just short running plays, short in motion. And I agree with you. Moving Hal around is going to be a big deal here. One, to keep them off balance, to maybe stay away from some of these rushes. I would argue mainly, too, to not do the motion towards Thibodeau, because if he does catch where it's going, he does overextend himself. But if he does catch it, you're not going to run away from him.
Right.
He's the one I would be worried about. But outside of that, I don't think we need to chuck it down the field on these guys. I think this is why I think EB might show himself out on this one. If you watch that Miami game and you see some of the things they did that took advantage of their over-aggressiveness and turned these very small plays, run plays, end-arounds, screen passes into enormous chunk plays, that should be pigging you-know-what for EB. Because that's actually what he's been very good at, especially in the red zone, is designing up these kind of motion plays. They had a great one to Gibson last week on that goal play of the one. Yep. They've had a couple with Samuel on the goal line where they've had these end-arounds, walk-ins. We haven't seen that in a while. Remember how hard it was for us to score in the red zone?
Yeah.
EB in the red zone's been very good. Take it in between the 20s this week because I think you have an opportunity to make some plays. I agree Robinson needs to get the ball more. I also agree that if we get a big lead, if we get a lead like we did last week again, do not do anything crazy here. Don't let that. The only way they're going to get back in is by causing turnovers. So trust your defense and run the ball more. And that's what I would like to see this week. All of this adds up to me that I feel good about everything, but I ain't counting any chickens. That's my T-shirt this week. I count no chickens, and it's written in burgundy and gold. I count no chickens. I count no chickens. After that Chicago game, you shook me. I'm done. Like, if you couldn't win that, let alone not get blown out by them, then I don't believe anything you're going to do. I can't. You've done it for the year. Prove it every week now. Prove it every week.
The 2023 Commanders cheated on you. You don't trust them.
No. They did. I saw who you're DMing.
Every time they go out, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Don't trust you.
I don't trust you.
Share
That's
your
true.
location.
But I think, you know what? That's probably good for them. Because actually, for 25 years, we shouldn't trust them week by week by week.
Yeah.
This was
welcome to my life, pal.
This was the
literally.
This was the epitome of it. You know me. I pride myself on really having the pulse. That was one of the first times that I was so far off. I couldn't believe it.
Because Kime was all over. Kime doesn't actually go on a limb often.
No.
Was just agreeing that whole
Or
week.
like last week when I asked Kime, I'm like, did you pick them? And he said, yeah. And I go, why? And he goes, well, I don't know, actually.
I picked him to lose, but. Yeah.
Last week?
Yeah.
Last week to me was, I said it all week. I go, I'm not making a prediction because I think it could go either way, and I just don't know. And I don't know what team's going to show up because they've been schizophrenic. So if they show up, that's what it is. This is your schizophrenic girlfriend that's going on here. You don't know how she's going to act. You don't know what she's going to do. She might go nuts on you. She might love you up. Who knows?
I don't want to bring mental health. I'll just stick with cheating. I'll just stick with the cheating girlfriend.
Yeah, she cheated on me on that Bears game.
Right, and now you don't
because
trust
that was
her.
I don't trust you.
Right.
For the rest of the year. That's what I'm saying. There's no couple of weeks removed from it. I feel better about it. There's no fixing that trust issue. I don't have
starts in January.
That's right.
Until then.
Listen, we just need to get through this season. Once we get through this, we can talk about the future together.
That's right.
But let's get through it. It's important now that we do this together. But let's find out. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. That's what Mitchell Rails and Mark Ein and Josh Harris are also talking about.
We'll talk after the season.
We'll talk after this. Let's get through this now, guys. We're all on the same team. Let's work together. Let's stay together on this. We'll talk about it in January.
To get through, whatever.
Yeah, we got to play. It's a big night. Big night. Got a couple galas we need to go to.
Holidays are coming up. Let's just put this on pause.
Yeah, I mean, this is the big time season. We got to do a lot of stuff. Let's do it together. Let's hold hands while we do it. But I don't trust you at all. That's where I am.
Also, it's up there. And to just pile on, it's up there. It's against this franchise.
Yeah.
It's the ref crew.
Yeah.
Like, you and I have seen this movie far too many times before as well, where we've even counted out the Giants and it's like, crap, I forgot it's that team in that stadium. Now it's this ref crew.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of little things.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of
needles,
little, there's just a lot of little things.
Red flags.
What I actually did like, though, was the call out of the ref crew early. I thought that was good from our side to fire a shot back going, we know what you're doing.
Right, yeah.
Which
Totally.
now I like that one, even though nobody's doing anything here. I did like the shot fired of, that's ridiculous that you put this crew on that game after what happened last year in a leverage moment between the two of us. That's crazy. Maras, would you put in a call for that?
Probably.
I did go through 3 seasons of...
I was going to say, did you find that last night?
So I did, and it actually... Most of them must have come in that first year because I had to go back 3 seasons, and I only found 3 games where he was the referee, the head referee. One of them was the Denver game that they lost in Denver to Teddy Bridgewater.
That was Halloween 2021.
Halloween, it was Halloween.
2021, yeah.
Yes, he was the crew there. I'm trying to remember, were there weird calls? But I remember they got the ball back.
It was
late
a messy
in the game,
if I remember correctly.
17-10, and we kind of like, if Denver had gotten a first down late, they would have sealed it, but they gave it back to us.
So we had
and
a
then
chance,
we had a chance, and then I think the drive died at like the 30 or something like that with Heineke. I think that might have been the one where Montez Sweat broke his jaw, if I remember that right, too.
Yeah, you're correct.
He did. Yeah, so I don't remember anything overly controversial in that game.
Neither do I.
But the one last year was pretty bad. And I did like so of all the needles that are out there, I did like the shot fire back of, I can't believe you put that crew on this matchup again after what happened last year. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Real quick before we get to Jordan Run On. Jags win. Beat the Saints.
Easily, by the way. Like, as soon as they scored 14, I was like, this is over.
Yeah.
I went to bed at halftime.
The Saints still weirdly kind of, I mean, they did put 24 up, but like they kind of weirdly can't score at a clip that I thought they'd be able to.
Did you see
Carr again had 300 and something yards passing, so he put stats up.
Did you see what he was doing with his teammates, though? He was like yelling at guys every play. And people were saying like, one of them I saw on Twitter this morning was he chucked one up to Olave, but like the ball was going out of bounds.
Yeah.
And then he was yelling at Olave, and everybody was like,
"What are you doing?"
If Olave had done whatever you think he should have done, he still wouldn't have caught the ball.
Right.
So I don't know if he's
That's
wearing
not
thin.
good.
I also saw, I forget who it was.
That's not good. Well, that's going sideways then.
Well, I saw someone from the Saints saying, "Is it time to go to Jameis?" Because they're not out of the division by any means. They have all this talent that they were basically saying, "Is it time to go to a different direction right now to try to save the season?"
Huh.
So
the Carr thing went completely sideways on them quickly.
Right.
See, I thought all along, I'm like, McDaniels is the crazy pants who ran him out, but now we're starting to see that he might be unspooled very easily, and maybe the full story, maybe they're both crazy pants.
Maybe.
We already know McDaniels is. That's certified.
Right.
We know this.
Yeah, duh. Yeah.
Rubber stamped. We know this. As for the Jaguars, they're kind of picking up steam now.
Yep.
They're just kind of stacking up wins. They're 5-2 now. Mm-hmm. They're going to win that division. I mean, I don't think Houston's going to be good enough to get there.
Yep.
Indianapolis certainly won't. And Tennessee might be tearing down in the next couple of weeks. So they're going to win that. So that Jags-Lions Super Bowl we're kind of streaking towards it, guys.
Jags are not going to beat the Chiefs.
Jags-Dolphins AFC Championship to face the Lions in the Super Bowl. We're streaking that way right now.
Do the Chiefs have to travel to Jacksonville?
Jags-Lions in Vegas. That is not a pretty collection of people hanging out at the New York.
Here's actually the funnier one. 1 seed Lions versus 1 seed Jaguars.
Yes.
That's the weirder one.
The Jaguars getting the 1 seed is really not all that crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, just the other teams have harder divisions.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
So they're just going to streak their way into that and home field advantage, and Dougie P does it again. The Jacksonville Special. Wonder what that's going to look like.
I told you that's going to just be 2 sad fan base, and one of the 2 is going to be a sad fan
base. Honestly, if this thing keeps going the right way, I think they should sign Nick Foles just to do it. Have him on the team.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What we got? Big noon, Ohio State, Penn State, Ohio State. Ooh, daddy. Ohio State, slight 5-point favorite. Give me the nitties, baby, to pull off the upset in old Columbus, suckers. James Franklin's revenge. Remember when Vanderbilt was good? One time only, baby. Give me James Franklin. UCF at Oklahoma. Oklahoma should win, I would assume. 12 o'clock kickoff, Norman. Yikes. Air Force is ranked at Navy. If you want to go see a ranked team at Navy this weekend, I don't know much about any of it. Give me the Air Force Academy. They're undefeated.
Okay.
Washington State, who got exposed last week at Oregon, who lost at the buzzer to Washington. I assume Oregon will bounce back at home. I like this Dan Lanning guy. He yells at everybody. Give me them to win. They're also 20-point favorites in that game, which is a little shocking considering Washington State was ranked as of a week ago.
Sure.
Oh, the Sabins is going to get tested again. They got number 17 Tennessee coming into town. You know what happens when them volunteers show up? We send them home packing fast. Wear your stupid orange.
Sure, pal.
Don't go on with nothing. Give me, Alabama's a bigger favorite than I thought they would be. 9. So I'm going to stick with Vegas on this one and take the Crimson Tide because betting against Saban seems dumb in general, and it is in Alabama. But Tennessee's good. I've seen enough of them to know they're good, but Alabama figures out a way to win. I don't know if they cover that, but I like Alabama to hang on and win. South Carolina, and Frank Beamer's boy be kicking things now, kicking things with his footses. He going to take on Missouri. I don't know, man. They could be 2-5. Boy, the shine's going to be off your guy Beamer.
I'd lean Missouri. Seems like Beamer's losing his mind.
It sounds like it. North Texas, Tulane, yuck. Oh, God. Minnesota, Iowa, more yuck. Texas, Houston. Houston's not that good. Texas, as you know, is back. They will win at Houston. UVA's got a toughie. They got to go down to North Carolina. You can listen to that right here tomorrow, by the way, 5:30 pregame. North Carolina's undefeated, and I looked at their schedule. North Carolina has got Virginia at Georgia Tech and then Campbell for some reason, so they should be 9-0 after that before they play Duke, which will be the biggest Duke North Carolina football game of all time.
Everybody's wearing basketball jerseys.
Of all time. Then they close at Clemson at NC State, and neither of those teams are ranked right now. Distinct possibility North Carolina goes undefeated heading into the
UNC into the playoff.
If they're an undefeated ACC team, yeah. They are.
We're going to get some Paul callers on that one.
I've also already seen Florida State's undefeated too. Mm-hmm. So we might get 2 ACC teams.
That's the SEC's nightmare.
Paul.
Yeah. They don't play football over there, Paul.
Who I got to poison, Paul? Who am I going to poison this week for this? Ole Miss at Auburn, that Lane Kiffin, that tricky trickster, he going to go down to Auburn and win. Michigan, Michigan State. Michigan, bunch of cheaters.
I mean, are they? Have you read into it?
They suspended somebody for the side stealing stuff, so they're
dumb,
already
though.
admitting it.
So dumb, though.
You cheaters.
This is finally where Harbaugh bolts.
Think?
He's like openly been like,
what if they win the national championship?
and he still bolts for the NFL.
Oh, boy.
He's like, I'm sick of this. I'm out.
You know who might have an opening next year? Let's see. Cheetahs. Dukes at Florida State. That's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Should be a good game. I'll take Florida State, by the way, at home. Army LSU. No. Win big. Utah USC. Well, Caleb. You go lose some more money this week?
Right.
Back-to-back bad ones isn't going to be good for you. I want to own a piece of an organization. Oh, do you now? Why don't you beat Utah first and then come talk to me about it? Arizona State, Washington's going to kill them. And UCLA at Stanford, UCLA is going to win big. And there is college football. All right, let's see what else we got for week 7.
No, not that voice. Get that out of here.
I will for Raiders Bears. Oh, boy.
Why?
No Jimmy G. No Justin Fields.
Okay.
The Bears are playing an undrafted rookie quarterback this week.
They like him, though. He beat out whoever their veteran was. I'm actually kind of pumped to see what he does. Not to say that the Bears are a spitting image of anyone I trust with personnel these days, but
You're pumped to see him?
I mean, the fact that he beat out whoever they brought in camp as an undrafted rookie, I mean, I don't know.
All right.
We'll see.
Raiders are 2.5-point favorites on the road. I guess Aiden O'Connell will be the starting quarterback for them. No Jimmy G. I will pass. I have no idea.
Luckily, it's at 1.
It's at 1. I won't have to pay attention to it. I think it has no bearing on anything, frankly, except that the Raiders, if they were to win, would be 4-3.
Right. Yeah.
Which kind of just keeps them afloat in the old playoff conversation.
Keeps them afloat. Also says we didn't need Carr at all. We're going to get by without him.
Well, as you were telling me last night, it's Carr's starting to look like crazy pants.
Right. Yeah.
Losing his mind already.
Guy, I'm going to go with it's not your skill position players' problems. I'm going to go with a little more you than them.
Oh, man. All right. So no more Carr. Raiders got the same record anyway. Kind of woulda, coulda, shoulda get a win here. They
Right.
do.
Mm-hmm.
4-3. All of a sudden, they're screaming like we might be a wild card team.
Maybe.
We'll see. Browns at Colts. Browns defense showed up big time last week, shut down the 49ers offense. Won, thanks to a missed field goal at the buzzer. Won without Deshaun. What are they saying about him? Have you heard anything about him? Is he playing or not this week?
Practice today.
Practice?
So I would assume he's going to be good to go. Would assume.
Colts are 3-3. No Anthony Richardson. It's the Gardner show from here.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you'll see some Jonathan Taylor at some point now that he's back and available. They're really slow rolling him back into their lineup.
Yeah, my fantasy team knows that.
Oh, God. This is like the Browns should win, but it's like one of those. This is like Maryland football. Like eventually you're like, they should win this one, and then they end up on the wrong side of it. Give me the Colts, only because I don't trust Cleveland, even though I think they're a better team and I think their defense should be good enough to kind of win on its own. But I'll take the Colts at home here to win some dumb low-scoring game.
I don't know if you peruse. Do you ever use
16-13?
Do you ever peruse OddsShark? Do you ever use their services?
No.
They run simulations, and
What
that's
do they got? Colts?
Their simulations are Colts across the board.
Yeah.
To cover, take the over because the over/under is 41, and to money line the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel strongly about this, but I think my gut says Colts is the play here this week, only because I've watched too much football in my life. Cleveland should win, but they're not to be trusted. They're one of those teams. Neither are we, which is why I'm not making any picks on our team, because even though I think we should win on Sunday, I'm not going to pick them, not off of what happened against Chicago and not off the last 20 years. I'm not going to do it. So with the Browns, until proven otherwise, I don't believe them.
Computer doesn't
I
believe
gotta
in
look.
them
Let me
either.
look something up here real quick. The Browns are 3-2. Have they played? Yeah, 4 of their first 5 were at home.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
So they're 0-1 on the road. Their loss is to Pittsburgh. Yeah, give me old Indy here, and I agree. Like if you're going to do something, forget taking the points, take the extra juice.
Yep.
Yeah. So give me Uncle Rico and the Colts to knock off the Browns. My son and daughter watched Napoleon Dynamite yesterday. Archer loved it.
Thoughts from both of them?
Love
that
it.
could fall flat. That could fall flat with anybody.
So it's too much dialogue, not enough action. But it's one of those where if you just go, just do yourself a favor and just lock into it, okay? And stay with it. And it's amazing. And if you do that, you'll want to watch it 15 more times because there are so many little moments in it that are too good.
Quite a few one-liners, too.
So many. Kip's transformation once he meets LaFonda is unbelievable. The foreshadowing of the dance scene is unbelievable. Just the overt racism that's underlying with Pedro Sanchez is amazing. Just the way he say his name, the speech, everything. Mm-hmm. Like it's all incredible. It's incredible.
Drawing a liger, having tots in his pocket.
Tots. Yeah.
The chickens have large talons.
Caught you a delicious bass. This is ridiculous. It's an incredibly ridiculous
throw a football
movie.
Over them mountains.
Uncle Rico's unbelievable. Unbelievable in it. All right, give me the Colts. Let's see. Bills, Pats. I don't remember the last time the Bills were 9-point favorites in New England.
Uh-huh.
So times have changed for Billy Bill. The Crafts might not even show up to this one. Buffalo typically doesn't look bad back-to-back weeks. Buffalo has also trounced them in recent years, including the playoff game against them. I'm assuming Buffalo wins. By how much, I don't know. They're just a way better team. Mac Jones is a pick waiting to happen. Give me Buffalo and, oh, man. I mean, the Patriots have been so bad, it's hard to say it's going to be close. So until proven otherwise, 30-10, Buffalo.
A lot of low scores on the over-unders. The over-under for that one is 40 on the dot.
Oh, man, I hit it again.
So
I should be setting lines. I am beyond. I'm not even looking at it. I'm beyond on it. 30-10 Bills. That's what I got.
Give me over on the points there.
31-10 is what you're saying. Okay.
30-9.
I think I picked the Patriots when they went to Dallas. Boy, that was dumb. They're 1-5 and 0-3 at home. That's
great.
Amazing.
Yeah, not great, Bob.
Hi, Bill. How's it going?
Not great, Bill.
Welcome to the universe. Falcons, Buccaneers. It's actually an important game because both of those teams, Falcons could be 4-3, Buccaneers could be 4-2, which means one of them is going to be right in line for edge of the wild card or better because that division, as predicted, is upside down.
Yep.
Now that the Saints aren't very good and can't be trusted, one of these two teams could win that division. My gut tells me it would be Atlanta because I like them better than I like Tampa Bay. However, after we saw what Ritter did last week, I wouldn't be surprised if Baker keeps it together long enough that the Buccaneers win that division by the end. Give me Tampa at home here, albeit I think this is probably a very close game. And if the Falcons run the ball really, really well, like they can, they'll probably win. And if they go a little cuckoo and start throwing it all over the place again, then give me Tampa to figure it out and knock them off. I think this is a very close game, but I'll take Tampa to win. And Art Smith's cutaway shots are going to be amazing again when they make mistakes.
Somehow the Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield are more trustworthy.
They are.
Than that team.
I got to tell you, after you're spending the week getting ready to play them and looking at their roster, I really like what they've built. Kyle Smith. I really, really. Now, they got the problem that most teams have. Do you have a quarterback? And I don't think they have an answer to that question. And I said this in the summer. I said, by the time we play them, Heinicke will be starting. You saw what happened last week. He should have been starting against us. He gives them actually a better chance because he doesn't make the type of mistakes that Ritter does. Ritter can get fooled into things. He got induced into 2 of those interceptions last week.
I wonder if Ritter throws a pick early. Do they turn?
Maybe.
Do they turn to Heinicke?
Yeah, I think at some point they're going to have to. Because this is a big game.
Right.
Like, they got to figure out a way to win this. It figures to be close. I don't like either one of them really to go far, but I think one of them will probably end up in the playoffs, and one of them might win that division.
Sure.
We might get the old rematch if we sneak into the wild card and go back down there. Oh, yeah. Oh, Daddy, here we go.
Wild card. You don't even know if they're going to beat the Giants.
Just be quiet. So let's see. So give me Tampa. I do like what the Falcons. I like what they're kind of building. I think they got a pretty decent roster. On offense, they have they got silly weapons now. So if they get a quarterback who can play with that line, their offense could hit the gas pretty quick, I think. Lions-Ravens might be the game of the weekend, maybe.
I agree.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I actually don't trust Baltimore, and I do trust Detroit. We're upside down land. The Ravens are 4-2, but the 2 losses are on them.
Mm-hmm.
They blew both of those games inexplicably against the Colts. I do think it's odd that they're favorites. Well, I guess they're home, so maybe it's not. Yeah. It's hard not to like the way Detroit's playing, both sides of the ball. So until I see otherwise, I feel like the Lions are due for a loss, but I don't like the way Baltimore has finished. And I don't love how their offense is really playing, particularly right now. The Lions are pretty consistent. They may not be great on either side of the ball, but they're pretty consistent. This one's going to be, because the Ravens are a very physical team. This is going to be a slobber knocker, this one. This is going to be bloody. Going to be a lot of blue in that stadium. That's right, crab cakers. You're not going to like that. A lot of blue because the Lions are the traveling circus this year. Until I've seen otherwise, give me the Lions here. I actually trust them more right now. So I'll take the Lions to pull off an upset and win.
I'll go opposite. I'm just going to go with what I trust here. Ravens at home, tough to beat at home. Lions are just kind of due for one. You got to chalk up 1 or 2 of these on the schedule. Ravens win this one. It's going to be close. I'd give me a 27-24-ish type score.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens just win at home, though.
Steelers at the Rams. Good luck picking that one. The Rams are 3-3. They're very well coached. The Steelers are 3-2. They're very well coached. The Steelers have a better defense. The Rams one isn't bad. The Rams have a better offense. The Steelers is bad. But the Rams offense isn't great by any stretch. Puka has 50 catches. Is that right?
Yeah, because when Kupp was out, he was the only
50
guy.
50 in 6 games?
Probably didn't. I don't even think he had a lot last week.
So he's on pace for almost 150?
No, but Kupp's back. He's not going to get the same volume.
Okay. Give me McVay, but I wouldn't touch this. I have no idea. Give me McVay, but only because they're home. That could go either way.
I wouldn't touch it.
They're both average teams.
Did you also hear what McVay said about his pregnant wife?
No.
They asked him what happens if she goes into labor, on game day or something. Did you hear his response?
No.
He goes, "My son knows better than to come into the world on Sunday."
It's a good answer.
It means he's gonna bet you he gets born on Sunday.
Oh.
You don't know that, man. You have no idea.
Still a good answer. Cardinals, Seahawks, give me Seattle at home. I think the Cardinals, it was written in stone before the season they would have a bad record. I appreciate how competitive they've been. I know how this goes. You lose enough and some of that competitiveness kind of goes away. Give me the Seahawks.
Yep.
Packers, Broncos. Green Bay is a 1-point favorite on the road. 1. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that feel a little low considering how bad Denver's been? Give me the Broncos. That one is screaming. Again, I don't really have
I'm not touching feel that
about. Again, that's another one. I wouldn't touch it, but that spread should spook you.
Yeah.
Give me Denver at home because I figured Green Bay to be at least a field goal favorite on the road there. Chargers, Chiefs. Chargers with an all-world quarterback is 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs at home rarely lose, albeit they haven't looked all that great.
Travis Kelce got his new house this week
because he needs more privacy. He's finding out what it's like to be a real celebrity. My daughter, who is making friendship bracelets for the Taylor Swift concert that we're going to in Paris, made a Kelce bracelet last night.
Look at that. Mm-hmm. I forgot to bring that in. My sister made her some for that concert, by the way.
Speaking of teams you cannot trust, the Chargers. Give me Kansas City at home.
Easily.
Is Taylor showing up to this?
They haven't said.
Oh, they haven't said.
Kelce has a new home, so, you would think.
Maybe she's watching it on the big screen there.
Maybe.
With Kelsey's mom.
$6 million in KC. You don't know what that got him?
What?
6 bedroom, 6 bath, 1 million square feet, a mini golf course, pickleball court, tennis court, basketball court, and I thought there was something else there. Oh, a waterfall and a pool.
In D.C., it'll get you a very nice apartment in the Navy Yard. Yes. A really nice one. A super nice one.
Right.
With 3 bedrooms. Super nice. Bigger than any apartment you've seen.
3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths.
Yeah. All right, I'll take the Chiefs because I don't trust the Chargers.
Yep.
And then the night game is probably going to be game of the weekend, Dolphins-Eagles. So the Dolphins are beating the brakes off people. But when they played a serious contender road game and went to Buffalo, they got beaten pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Eagles' defense good enough to limit this? I don't think so. I think their secondary's too beat up. I think there's too many big plays to be made. And if the Eagles cannot get the type of pressure that they're accustomed to, they're going to get lit up like everybody else. Offensively, can they hang in there? Yeah, definitely. They should control the line of scrimmage. I don't want the Hurts hate is getting a little much for me. I think it's a little much. I mean, they are 5-1. I know he hasn't looked like he did in the past. I think that loss last week kind of threw people a little bit about him. Are they going to run the ball as effectively as they did early in the season against Miami? Maybe, maybe not. I actually watched the Giants a couple of weeks ago actually run the ball relatively effectively against the Dolphins. Spread is spooking me here too on this one because I would have thought, well, I have the Eagles at home. I don't know how you make them an underdog, but I don't know that they feel like a favorite to me. This game's close. I think this game's close. 28-25 Eagles, because they always seem to find ways to win these games. So I'm going to take the Eagles at home in a very close, probably a very good game this weekend.
I think McDaniel relishes these moments, and I think he figures it out. I think they win a high score, not like a slightly higher scoring one than what you're saying. Give me like a Dolphins victory 31-27.
I don't think the Dolphins are built for that 17-14 game. If it goes that way, I think they end up on the wrong side of that. Like Tua will probably make a couple mistakes. But in the 31-28 game, that's where I think that they're in their comfort zone. But I'll take the Eagles to pull it out at home, 28-25, albeit I'll be rooting for a different result because if they're on a 2-game losing streak coming here and we win in New York, well.
Also, hold on, I just need to see that game, Sunday Night Football. The Diamondbacks did win last night, so no sweep out in the desert. And so if there is, they got lucky because they played yesterday. They're going to play today and tomorrow. Oh, yeah, so they won't
Phillies
even have
a
game.
off.
So I was going to say, if they were distracted, I think actually a little bit better chance for the Dolphins. But
so they would get a Monday night game at home if the Diamondbacks win one more at home.
Exactly. So I just wanted to see. Because even if they were away, people would be paying attention to that game more than that one. So yeah.